Welcome back. Despite the most difficult times for the capital goods industry, TEMA India kept posting awesome financial results year after year. TEMA India is the market leader in high-pressure heat exchanger, and its vision for 2020 is to be the largest designer and manufacturer of shell and tube heat exchangers in the world. The chief of TEMA India, Mr. Harish Sippy's mission is to create those products that make India proud. He feels that innovation is the key to success. Our correspondent Vrinda Chaturvedi spoke to him earlier. Take a look.
So generally when people sit for interviews, they have trophies placed, on the side. Why do we have all these machines here?
I know, you're absolutely right. Trophies are somewhere else. I don't know where they are. Mostly with my colleagues. They love to collect them. But I like to be amongst these guys.
Can you please tell me what are these things you're so attracted towards them? What is this?
I get my inspiration from all this. These are very critical heat exchangers, shell and tube heat exchangers of very critical nature, and where I've got quite involved, and every time I look at them I get different ideas and I implement those ideas. This is called screw plug.
Okay.
This is becoming very famous now because of the clean fuel requirement. So we have ensured clean fuel with this. Clean fuel means there should be no leakage, there should be no intermixing of the shell side and tube side fluids. So we have a kind of gasket we have made, we have designed the whole thing, all our internals in such a way that this is 99.99% leak proof. And then we have another advantage of the plug. The plug normally does not open, it's seized. Because under pressure, it tilts a bit. यही होता है यहाँ पे कि खुलता ही नहीं है. तो हमने उसका भी इंतजाम किया कि ये ऐसा होगा ही नहीं. इसके लिए वो shrink fit design है हमारा जो patented है. I've got a patent and I've got copyrights I've given to American Society of Mechanical Engineers. Our papers have been accepted everywhere that we can make this 100% proof. This used to be in those earlier days made by our big brother, and that was costing roughly 15 crores. Today we have brought the cost down to 4.5 and yet we make a good profit on this. So we have optimized so much in designing and making it much more efficient at the same time. Bringing down the cost and bringing up the efficiency. That's what we have done here.
Mr. Sippy, will you please tell us something about what exactly is a heat exchanger?
Yeah, it's a pressure vessel basically, but it's a heat transfer equipment. Now, heat transfer is such a natural phenomenon. The world cannot exist without heat transfer. Your body cannot live without a heat transfer. For example, nuclear energy. How do you use the nuclear energy? There's a big amount of heat that's generated, which with mediators we bring it down, and then there are heat exchangers where, shell and tube heat exchangers by the way, where the heat is transferred and the steam is produced. So turbine, when it rotates, it makes the generator armature rotate so that electricity is produced. So basically, heat exchangers are a big job they have to do. So we make these shell and tube heat exchangers, whether it is for an oil refinery, whether it is for the power sector, or in a petrochemical, or in any cold storage or anything, anywhere and everywhere a heat exchanger has to be used. You need it everywhere.
Can you please tell us, as an engineering company, what does TEMA India do to upgrade on technology?
That's a good question. How do you do it? We try to make it easier and easier for us to manufacture, and we try to make the job better and better. Once you make it easier to manufacture, it automatically becomes better. The whole process, if it is so synchronized very well, and the quality assurance plays a big part. There is ease of manufacturing, and obviously the best performance comes out of that.
Mr. Sippy, while I was going around in the factory, one very interesting thing that I saw and you also talked about over here are clean fuels.
clean fuel, when we're talking about clean fuel, it's a clean fuel that the world is talking about, because they have to upgrade their refineries to see that the diesel that's produced is with much less ppm of sulfur. I don't remember the figures, but it drastically has to be brought down to see that no sulfur dioxide is produced or something else, or H2S is produced, so that reduces the pollutant. So it can only be possible when the sulfur is reduced in your product, in their product. So they are going to spend a lot of money to make the processes in such a way that the sulfur quantum reduces. But in a heat exchanger, if there is intermixing, the whole purpose is gone. And these heat exchangers have to be high pressure, high temperature, of corrosive service and hazardous service, and above all, dirty service. So the only answer to all this is high screw plug heat exchanger.
Can you please tell us where do you supply these screw plugs?
Wherever diesel is produced. There are so many refineries in India, like IOCL itself has got about 10 refineries, and there is Reliance, there is SR, there is BPCL, CPCL, and many others. Okay. So diesel is produced, wherever diesel is produced, they have to go from Euro 2 to Euro 4 to Euro 6, and these exchanges are going to be required everywhere in every plant. But more everywhere outside will also be required. We are producing so many for KNPC, that's in the Middle East, and we've got some inquiries from Malaysia. A lot of places there are heat exchangers. These heat exchangers are going to be required in abundance now, screw plug.
Mr. Sippy, towards the end of the interview, I would like to know, how do you see TEMA India's growth down the line, let's say next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years a long time. Let me talk about 2 to 3 years, but let's say we talk about 5 years.
Yeah, let's talk about
5 years, the minimum that we have to do, there's no two ways about it, I won't give any choice to anybody, is going to be 1,500 top line, 1,500 crores top line. But I would like to make a lot of profits from here. And just understand one thing. Our technology in everything that we have done is proved throughout the world. It's a proven technology, which is rare. In our line, we are the best. And there is a vast gap between us, the size of our company, we are the tiniest company. And let's say our big brother, our main competitor, who is a 120,000 crore company or whatever, something like that. Huge company. Now there's a big gap in between. We would like to fill up that gap. So I don't know where it can go to. Everything depends on how the government comes together. If the economy of the country comes together, sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. And we see that happening. It is going to happen. Clean people like us is not only catering for clean fuel, but clean business, I think it's got a lot of scope now.
From making sampling bombs, corrosion bombs and vapor pressure bombs in 1970s to become a trusted name in heat exchanger in the world is a remarkable journey of TEMA India. No failures of the heat exchangers produced by TEMA speaks about its high standards, quality and integrity. Here we'll take a short break. Keep watching Empowering India.